Welcome back to the Nullified Take channel here on YouTube, where we've got the TNT takes for you on the Challenge All-Stars 4. That's right, we're going to be talking about the cast and draft assessment that I did with Drew and Chantel about a week ago. And I did promise that if enough people followed that and if enough people watched the draft and liked the video, we will be doing some challenge content right here on the channel, here on the Nullified Take channel. We've had about 150 or so likes on the video, so it's done extremely well. I was hoping to get 100, so thank you so much for everybody that supported it in some way, shape, or form. Please, while I'm talking about likes, like this video. It's absolutely free and a great way to support the growth of the channel, and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I'm going to check out the draft that we did. I'm going to give you a little bit of my thoughts in regards to who I was happy to get, who I wasn't happy to get, or how I thought the draft went as a whole. And let's bring that up while I'm talking about it. For me, to be honest with you, coming into this draft, I knew Drew, being the champion the previous time in All-Stars, he was going to have the ability to choose the order. I tried to mix it up a little bit and get us to throw him a little bit under the bus, because I knew where he was going to go. I knew he was going to go for Leroy as soon as he had the ability to choose when he was going to pick, and if he was going to pick male or female. So I wasn't surprised when ultimately he did choose Leroy in that first position. He did throw me a bone though by telling me that I was going to go third in the draft, and that would mean that yes, I had the third male pick, but I would get the first female pick. And obviously I think I got the steal of the draft personally in getting Cara Maria. She's a beast. She's continued to train. I think probably in this cast, she is the most battle-hardened and ready to win this thing. Laurel has had some recent seasons where she hasn't done so well. I feel like she maybe lost her edge a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how she does in this All-Star season. Plus, Laurel is going in there with an ex of hers, and Nicole. Her and Cara doesn't get along too well. Cara and Cam have worked together in the past, so my thinking was that there is a good chance that Cara would fall with the numbers of Leroy and Cam, and she also knows Brandon from her fresh meat season, and I think Leroy and Brandon also has some sort of a working relationship or friendship outside of the game, so that's why I went Cara. I went Brad because he was the third male pick of the whole draft, my first male pick, but he was clearly the best out of everybody that was available at that time. And we spoke about it a little bit on the live, that the men for this season don't look very strong compared to the females. Like, I'm very excited. I mean, females, I feel like you could go wrong, and that's why Drew didn't want to pick females as a first off, because he knew he had more runway to pick the women that he would like in his team. But with the males, you really had to get those first three guys. In my opinion, they're the best three guys going into the season. If you didn't have them in your team, you're going into this draft, in my opinion, with a massive disadvantage. So I could have gone Tony if Chantel didn't, and if she chose to go Brad, but Brad landed to me, and I'm very happy with that, because I do think Brad is a better pick between the two. He's been in recent seasons, he's battle-hardened. Yes, he loses his mind a little bit sometimes when it comes to the clutch situations and it gets to the end of the season, but I don't mind putting my weight behind him. I think Tony hasn't been back for quite a long time, and Tony, I think, is a bigger enemy of himself sometimes than what Brad has been in the past. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get with him. He could be fit physically, but I don't know if he's mentally fit for this competition he's walking into. Then we went into this third round, which was the second male pick for everybody. Drew chose Brandon and Chantel chose Steve. I would have chosen both of them above Jay as well if I had the opportunity, and I know that a lot of people were shocked when I chose Jay, and that's one of the reasons why I put Jay up as a potential. This was the worst pick for people to vote on. I actually feel very good about having Jay in my team. I sleep very, very well each night knowing he was in my team above any of the guys that were picked below him. And the reason for that is, yes, he hasn't proven himself on the challenge as of yet, but it's been years since he's done this thing. He's had a long time to think about the fact that he quit and that he didn't want to do the eating challenge with Jenna. He's, physically in shape, fireman, clearly must have put himself in some more uncomfortable situations as a fireman than what he was probably more like a kid when he first did the show. Didn't have like a real job or anything like that. But I'm sure he's gone through some experiences that's hardened him up a little bit in life, and I am banking on that as he comes into the season. I also think that, sometimes when it comes to these drafts and when it comes to an all-star season like this, where a lot of people are not like battle-hardened, they're not doing the main show currently, I like people that have sort of been overlooked by the main show and that has like a little bit of a chip on their shoulders. Like they feel like they're coming in and people have probably told Jay his whole life, like, listen, man, you suck at the challenge. I can't believe you quit. He's got that chip on his shoulder. I like backing people like that. So I'm happy with Jay. I'm more than happy that I got him in front of some of the other people that I didn't have the opportunity to choose after that. Then obviously Nicole, if I had to go back and say, is there any pick that I do regret a little bit? Nicole might be that. She could very well still go into the season and do extremely well. Like physically, I think there was never a doubt in my mind that she was going to be very capable. I was also thinking at that point, I need some drama points. I need some confessional points, because that's one of the things I normally don't do well at when we do these drafts. I normally pick people that I like I'm the physical guy, I like the athletes, and I definitely, out of the three of us, I'm the one that likes the sport action and the activeness of the challenges more, I feel like, than Drew and Chantel, who enjoyed the drama more. But I do enjoy the drama as well. But I kind of have a blind eye to that sometimes, and I don't get those confessional points. So I chose Nicole because I knew that there was going to be drama with her and Laurel coming into the season, and Cara being there as well. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the reunion of the three of them on the show. And I think she could get a lot of screen time if she comes on. But in hindsight, the reason I said I'm a little bit, I have to admit, I'm a little bit worried is the fact that I missed out on Rachel. And when Drew and Chantel sort of made me aware, yes, Nicole gets injured a lot, something I didn't take into consideration, because I've only watched most of these seasons once. I don't normally go back and rewatch it like both of them have, so I kind of forgot about it. Maybe I put it behind myself and it's in the back of my head, and I didn't really consider it coming into this draft. So, but I definitely missed out on Rachel being, she's super fit, very capable person coming into the season, and man, if she gets through Tina and Veronica, they get some power in the house, she could run the show. So I feel like maybe I've missed out. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me, but if I had to vote which one of the two was the worst pick, I would go Nicole. Janelle, obviously, when Drew went for Janelle, I was very happy. Janelle, she's a bit older, she's hurt her back recently, she's had some issues, she really struggled in that first season. Yes, she narrowly missed out on potentially winning, but again, I kind of felt like Nehemiah's team that season were the real team that got robbed since they dominated the first day. Janelle's good, but I really wanted Avery. I feel like Avery, again, she's got something to prove when she goes out there, and she's kind of young, fit, looks in shape still. She's a bit of a scrapper. So when Drew chose Janelle, I knew I was going to get Avery. I wasn't too upset about that. Now, this next round was the sabotage round, and when we did the sabotage, I really, really wanted Chantel to sabotage Drew, because we needed that. He's been so good and consistent at winning these fantasy cast draws, or drafts, I should say, that we really need to stop the momentum. And she goes ahead and throws him Derek. I don't even remember exactly where I ranked Derek, but I would have considered him after Jay. I know he's not proven himself much in the challenge history. He's not a champion or anything like that. But I definitely thought Tyree, Ace, and Ryan would be better sabotagers than him, because Derek's done pretty well. He's made a final. He showed a lot of heart in that final, helping Jasmine. And I feel like in a cast like this, where you've got people coming back who are champions like Kefla and Adam, but they haven't been on the game for a very long time. I don't know how well connected they are to people coming back into the show. And then you've got Derek, who's just recently been on the show. Didn't really live up to the expectations he had for himself. And someone that has shown somewhat athletic ability and being able to do good in endurance. I don't feel like Derek was a big sabotage. So I was a bit disappointed. So all gloves were off when it came to me having to sabotage Chantel. And I had to throw the kitchen sink at her on this round, because I knew that Drew was lining up Tyree for me. I knew he did his homework, and I did my homework. I never watched Tyree on the show. I didn't, like, I'm a newer school fan. I didn't know anything about him, and he looks physically very much in shape. I believe he may have played American football or something like that before, but I saw his record, 5 from 5 losses in the eliminations, and never ever has he made it past an episode 6. And I just thought, this guy is not going deep in the game. He doesn't look like someone who's got it. You know, some people have got it and some people don't have it. And I threw Tyree Chantel's way, but I did not expect the reaction I got from Drew walking off as he had to gather himself, and Chantel being absolutely speechless. Drew told me afterwards, he's like, man, you came and you woke up and you chose violence to give Tyree to Chantel. But I felt like I dodged the bullet, because Drew pretty much confirmed he would have given me Tyree. Now, obviously, Drew gave me Ace. I think it's a great sabotage. Ace, again, similar to Tyree, seems to be someone that just don't do well on these shows. He's a nice guy and everything, but I don't have high hopes for Ace necessarily, because he doesn't seem to ever go very deep in the show. And from what I saw when he came back on All Stars 1, he really just couldn't hang with the pace of the game. And that was with people that I feel like were even more rusty than some of the game players we have coming back this season. So I don't know how he's going to do this season, but I don't have high hopes. It's a good sabotage. Now, Jasmine being a sabotage, listen, I feel like Drew threw me a bone after he gave me Ace on that one. She's not the best when it comes to, obviously, daily challenges, and she could very easily end up being last on a daily and then automatically going into an elimination. But I feel like for whatever time she's going to be on the show, we're going to get great confessionals, and she's a character, so at least from that point of view, I will get some points while she's there. And when you get into the sabotage round, you don't expect someone to give you a winner. If one of these sabotage people do win the season for us, I think it would be hilarious. So it would be really, really funny to see that happen. When we went back to Chantel and I had to give her another sort of vote here, I could give her Flora, Veronica, or Tina, because I was never going to give her Avery. I wanted Avery. And I thought, listen, I'm not going to give her Flora, because let's give Flora to Drew. Let's try and give him a sabotage, because he just got off lightly on this last one. Not that I think Flora is horrible. Like, I never saw any of her seasons, and she seemed to have a lot of fans online that have messaged me since then saying, hey, check out this clips. She's really awesome. It's just, I don't think someone of Flora's age coming into the game, and someone that hasn't necessarily stayed fit like Mark Long, and sort of, you know, Mark Long looks like he could still be in his late 30s or early 40s. Even though he's not. Flora's not Mark Long. She's not going to come in here and do really well and dominate and make a final, I don't think. So I gave Chantel Ayana, which can be good for her in the sense that Ayana could win some physical eliminations. She's more than capable. She showed that to us when she came back. Who would ever forget the salad moment with Jodie? I thought that was hilarious. One of the best TV moments that we ever saw. So I'm a big Ayana fan. In some ways, it didn't feel like I was sabotaging her, but I couldn't give a Tina or Veronica. I just thought they're not a sabotage. They're not worthy of a sabotage. And I was sort of, you know, out of choices here. So Flora obviously gone to Drew there. Then he chose Kefla, which I think is a great pick. He could do particularly well in this season if people underestimate him. Looks like he's quite a smart guy. He's won some championships in the past, and I can see that the fans who watch the Old School Challenge show are really rooting for Kefla to do well. And then Chantel was always going to choose Adam, because Adam is a champion as well, and seems to be someone who always used to do very well socially and politically in the game. I got Ryan, so I feel like with the guys, I got 2 sabotages, to be honest, because I don't have high hopes for Ryan going into this. But silver lining here is I do get Avery, someone that I know fans have been wanting to come back and play the show for a very long time. I was always impressed with the heart that she had, and I feel like the challenge, you need to have a lot of heart when you go down in the ring. And she's got that. She's got that scrappiness about her. So I really want to see what she does, being one of the younger competitors, someone that's still very much in shape. And I feel like she's a person that, you know, people could look at as a number that they could use. There are bigger females in this game. Cam, Laurel, and Cara, legitimately all 3 of those ladies can compete in the actual main show right now and still potentially win a challenge season. So I feel like all three of them will be bigger targets in the beginning than Avery would be. So I feel like she could be a sleeper pick for me here. I'd be very happy if she does win. And then obviously Tina and Veronica went to, Chantal chose Tina and then Veronica went to Drew. So the reason I didn't choose them earlier is just because of the level of competitors that they're going up against this season. Some younger and more in shape and fit women that are capable of doing a lot, even in the mental capacity, like puzzles and things like that. But overall, that's how it played out. So those are my thoughts on the draft. Enough of my thoughts. Let's have a look and see what you, the audience, decided after that. Because I think it will be interesting to see if you think the same as me in regards to which one of these were the worst picks. All right. So, who has the best team? The audience voted. We had 40 of you respond to this, which is amazing. Thank you so much for everybody that participated. Drew overwhelmingly has the best team according to you, the audience. 72.5% of you have voted for Drew. And then, listen, I don't blame you. Drew's won the last couple, and he clearly is the favorite going into this. I am very happy and positive about the fact that at least 20% of you gave me a vote. And then we've got Chantal on 7.5% of the vote for the teams. Now, which of these picks were a steal in the draft? And here, all of you agreed with me that Avery was the steal of the draft. She ended up on 64.1% of the vote, followed closely, well, not closely, but followed by Veronica on 15.4%, and then Ayana at 12.8%. Tina getting the fewest of the votes here. Which top male pick will win the season? 80% of you said Leroy's going to win this. So, question to you, the audience, if Leroy does not win this, will he ever be able to win one of these shows? Like, I feel like they're giving it to him almost this season. I feel like, and I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I don't believe they're actually giving it to him, but I think they made it as easy as possible for him to win by not putting any legitimate challenges on here. Like, they didn't put Wes on here, or like a Jordan, or a Bananas, or anybody like that, not even Mark Long. Like, if Mark Long was on here, I would have been putting money on Mark Long to go deep. Nehemiah's taking a break for a change, for instance. So I really feel like Leroy has got a very solid chance of winning this season. So I agree with everybody. And then it's 10-10 between Brad and Tony. Which top female pick will win the season? This was a lot more tight. But still, 50% of you went with me and said Cara Maria will win this for the females. So I do feel like I made the right choice there. Laurel had the least amount of votes here, and only 12.5%, and then 37.5% of you said Cam will win this season. And it would be impressive for Cam to win this season, coming off, just having a baby. To get herself up to do well here would be an impressive feat if she can do that. But I think Cara Maria's just been waiting for this opportunity to get back in the game and to prove herself. Like, I wouldn't want to go up against her in eliminations as someone that's won the most eliminations ever. I do think she is a big threat coming into this season. So I'm happy to see that she gets the votes. Now, which one of these picks are the worst for its placement? And 57% of you guys still think Jay is the worst pick. That's fine. I don't think he is personally. Like I said, I think, I had Nicole, Brandon, Janelle, and Steve in there, and second was Nicole at 25%. I think Nicole may have been. If I'm going to look back at this draft and say, where did I potentially go wrong? I'll admit, I probably should have picked Rachel. But I think Nicole could still surprise us. So I'm not overly upset, but I had the chance to choose Rachel, and that's on me. I accept that. All right. Who will be the surprise of the season? No surprises to me here. Avery at 52.5%. A lot of you believe Avery is going to pull it out and go a lot deeper than what we expect. Quite a few of you like Kefla at 20%. And then we've got Flora at 15%, followed by Adam at 12.5%. So those are the votes that we received from you all. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you for being a part of the draft and giving us your feedback. We will be back as a group to do the Challenge Global draft and cast assessment. And I also believe, because there's so much support for the challenge, and I really appreciate the fans showing the channel love, I will be back and I will maybe do short form content on both the Challenge Global and All Stars 4. Hopefully by the time All Stars 4 comes around, I may be able to do some longer form podcasts again. It's just been, life's been really busy, and the time zone difference has made it hard for me to commit to doing anything with Drew and Chantel consistently, at least. Doing a once-off draft pick here and there I can make happen, but the consistent weekdays where you've got to make that happen, with both of them being in North America and for me being in Australia, New Zealand, it's a bit of a time difference, but we will get back there, I promise you guys. So hopefully you'll continue to support this challenge content. So I know you like this, you want to see more of this type of stuff, you want to see maybe my thoughts in a shorter form like I do for Australian Survivor, where I do top 5 takeaways for each episode, 12 or 13 minutes. It's easy to digest and for you to give your opinions about my takes. And if you do like that, I'll definitely put some stuff out there. But for now, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Consider subscribing and liking, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you next time when we're back to do our draft and cast assessment for the Challenge Global. Thank you so much. Bye.